Have you ever opened up Google Tasks and thought, what is the best way to set this up? Well, you're not alone. Sometimes it looks so simple that you almost feel like you're doing it wrong. And then you end up with one big messy list that doesn't help at all. The thing is, there's no one right way to use Google Tasks. Honestly, if you ask 10 people how they use it, you'll probably get 10 different answers. So don't overthink it. The best way is just the way that you'll end up sticking with. So with that in mind, I wanted to show you 4 different ways of setting up your task lists, depending on what you use them for and how your brain works. Now these are just to get you thinking, so don't feel like you have to choose one of them. As I said, there's no one right way to use tasks. Now I've tried all of these ways myself until I found the one that works for me, but more on that later. So let's start with method 1. And that could be to have a list set up for each of your clients or customers. Now, this is really handy if your brain suddenly goes, oh my God, did I do that thing for Sarah? Because you can just open up Sarah's list and check. It also means that everything for that client is in the one place, so it's easy to track, especially if you're juggling multiple clients. However, it can get overwhelming if you've got lots of clients, and you may end up with lots of tiny lists, and old client lists will need some maintenance. So bear that in mind before starting this method. So moving on to method 2. Now, if your work involves project work, then you could keep a list for each of those projects. This will stop things getting muddled up, and it will prevent all those sticky notes from taking over your desk. Now this method will keep project-related tasks together, making it easy to track progress, and it's great for multi-step projects. However, lots of small projects can pile up, and tasks belonging to multiple projects might need duplicating. And yes, you might end up with 10 lists called miscellaneous project. Believe me, I've done that too. So what about method number 3? Well, this method uses categories. For example, admin, finance, marketing, social media, whatever makes sense for your work. Now, this is perfect if you like batching. You might have an hour allocated in your calendar to admin, so you can just open up the admin list and work your way through it. Now, as I said, this method is great for batching similar work. It helps you to keep focus, and recurring tasks are easier to manage. But some tasks could fit into multiple categories. And if you're more day focused with your tasks, then this method could feel a bit abstract. You may also need to rename categories over time. Seriously, I've renamed the admin category at least 5 times now. So the final method I want to show you is the one that I'm currently using myself, and it's the days of the week. So I've got a list for each day of the week. Now it works for me because a lot of my tasks don't have specific deadlines. So on a Sunday, I will look at my lists for the week and move tasks into the appropriate day list of when I want to do that task, or a day when I know that I can fit it in. It's super simple, and it works for me because my brain needs to know what to do each day and not in some vague sometime list. And because I can uncheck the list down the left-hand side, it means that I can choose to view tasks for one specific day only, rather than seeing every day of the week in one go. Now I find this method to be perfect for daily focus. If there's no deadline needed, then it's easy to move unfinished tasks to a different day, and it's simple to maintain. However, sometimes tasks can pile up across days, and it doesn't show a long-term project overview, and it's less helpful for client or project tracking unless combined with another method. Now, as I said, personally, I find this method to be really helpful to me for keeping on top of what I need to do. But remember, the point isn't to copy exactly what I do. The point is to experiment until you find the setup that feels natural for you. And the nice thing is, you can't really break Google Tasks. You can move things around, you can rename lists, delete them, start over. It's meant to be flexible. So why not pick one of these methods, try it for a week and see how it feels. And if it feels a bit clunky, then that's your sign to change it and try a different way. Now, if you'd like a step-by-step tutorial on how to actually use Google Tasks, then I'll link to my earlier video right about here, I think. It could be here. That way you've got the best of both worlds, ideas and instructions. Now share in the comments if you're going to give one of these methods a go, or if you've got a completely different method that works for you. I would love to hear it. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.